Brazil sells itself to the world with beaches, football, carnival, and postcards, where the sun always seems to be in a generous mood. But behind that bright surface, there is another Brazil. Darker, older, wetter, sharper, and much less interested in your vacation plans. It is a country where a paradise island can be guarded by venom, where a trail above Rio can turn into a vertical trap, where a cave can swallow the sound of your own footsteps, and where some places are not hidden gems at all. They are hidden because nature, history, law, or common sense has placed a warning sign in front of them. So subscribe before we go any deeper, because this is not a list of places to casually add to your itinerary. This is a countdown of 13 terrifying places in Brazil you should never visit alone. And in some cases, you should never visit at all. Number 13. Abismo an Humas, Bonito, Mato Grosso do Sul. From above, Abismo an Humas does not announce itself like a monument. It is just a crack in the earth, almost modest, almost easy to underestimate. Then you look down. 72 meters below, inside a vertical cave, there is a black chamber filled with a crystalline underground lake. The descent is done by electric rappel with trained monitors, and that detail matters. This is not a place where you improvise courage with a flashlight and bad shoes. The attraction's own description makes the scale clear. The visitor descends 72 meters directly into the cave before reaching the lake and its formations. What makes Abismo an Humas frightening is not chaos, but control. Everything beautiful about it exists because the visit is disciplined. The equipment, the guides, the limits, the procedures, they are not decorations. They are the thin line between adventure and a rescue operation. Alone, that same beauty becomes hostile. The silence grows too large. The lake stops looking blue and starts looking bottomless. In Abismo an Humas, the earth opens its mouth politely, but it is still a mouth. Number 12. Val da Lua, Chapada dos Veadeiros, Goiás. Val da Lua looks like a piece of another planet dropped into the Cerrado. The rocks are pale, smooth, twisted by water into channels and bowls, as if the river has been carving bone for millions of years. Tourists arrive expecting a natural sculpture garden. What they often forget is that the sculptor is still working. The danger here is water. During the rainy season, trails and waterfalls in Chapada dos Veadeiros can be closed because of the risk of sudden flash floods, known locally as tromba d'água or cabeça d'água, a wall of water that can arrive from rain falling far upstream, even while the sky above you still looks innocent. Val da Lua seems playful until the river rises. The same narrow channels that make it photogenic can become funnels. The same polished stone that looks lunar becomes slippery, indifferent, and fast. You can visit with care, in the right conditions, and with local guidance. But alone, distracted, or during unstable weather, this valley stops being a landscape. It becomes a mechanism. Number 11. Caverna do Diabo, El Dorado, São Paulo. The name sounds theatrical. Devil's Cave. And at first, Caverna do Diabo almost seems too organized to deserve it. There are walkways, lighting, handrails, and monitored visitation. But do not let the infrastructure fool you. This cave is part of Caverna do Diabo State Park in the Val do Ribeira, and the famous Caverna da Tapagem extends for kilometers underground, although only a controlled section is open to visitors. State tourism material emphasizes that the cave's stairways, handrails, and lighting are what allow safe visitation. That is the contrast. The devil has been made visitor-friendly, but only in one corridor, under rules, under lights, under supervision. Beyond the tourist route, the cave returns to what caves really are, darkness, humidity, stone, echo, and the complete absence of forgiveness. A cave is not dangerous because it is evil. It is dangerous because it does not care whether you panic. It does not care whether your phone battery dies. It does not care whether every passage looks exactly like the one behind you. You can look, but you should not wander. In Caverna do Diabo, the devil is not in the name. It is in the temptation to think the lights mean the cave has been conquered. Number 10. Pedra da Gavia, Rio de Janeiro. Pedra da Gavia rises above Rio like a sleeping giant with its face turned toward the Atlantic. From the beach, it looks like scenery. From the trail, it becomes an interrogation. The hike is famous, brutal, and seductive. The official Parque Nacional de Tijuca information warns that the walk takes around 5 hours, includes more than 800 meters of elevation gain, and passes exposed vertical sections where accidents and even deaths have been recorded. It strongly recommends safety equipment and at least one person experienced in climbing. The most infamous section is the Carrasquera, a rock scramble that turns tourists into climbers whether they planned it or not. Going up is frightening. Coming down is worse. Below you, Rio looks impossibly beautiful. São Conrado, Barra, the ocean, the buildings, the tiny moving city. Beauty becomes vertigo. The place seems common until you understand what it asks of your body. It asks for strength, judgment, calm, and humility. Many arrive with only enthusiasm. Pedra da Gavia is not a secret. That is the dangerous part. It is visible from the city, famous on social media, close to hotels and traffic. But the mountain does not become safer because it has a good view. It just becomes more convincing. Number 9. Pitar, Iporanga, and Apiaí, São Paulo. Pitar, the Parque Estadual Turístico do Alto Ribeira, is one of Brazil's great underground kingdoms. In the forested hills of southern São Paulo, caves open like doors into an older version of the world. There are rivers inside the earth, chambers decorated with limestone, and darkness so complete it feels physical. The Santana Cave Trail has compulsory monitoring, and official protected area information describes Caverna Santana as one of the largest and most ornamented caves in São Paulo, with about 6,000 meters of extension. That is why Pitar belongs on this list. Not because it is reckless, but because it is serious. The rules are not bureaucratic theater. Caves are natural labyrinths. Inside them, sound behaves strangely, distance lies, and darkness removes the human advantage. A forest trail can confuse you. A cave can erase you. In Pitar, you may enter certain caves with accredited monitors, helmets, lights, and respect. Without that, the romance collapses quickly. There is nothing cinematic about being lost underground. There is only breathing, dripping water, and the growing suspicion that every shadow is another passage you should not have taken. Number 8. Ilha Anchieta, Ubatuba, São Paulo. Ilha Anchieta looks like the kind of island tourism brochures adore. Green hills, clear water, beaches, boats arriving from Ubatuba. But near the shore stand the ruins of a prison, and the island's beauty begins to feel less innocent. The old prison housed political prisoners during the Vargas era and later common prisoners. In 1952, according to the Memorial da Resistência de São Paulo, the prison had 453 inmates. 129 managed to flee to the mainland after a rebellion, many later clashing with armed forces. The prison was eventually closed in 1955. Today, visitors can walk among ruins where walls have lost their authority, but not their memory. The cells are open, the roofs broken, the vegetation returning. The island has been converted into a state park, but the past remains stubborn. This is not a place where the danger is only physical. It is historical. The terror is in the contrast between the beach and the bars, the turquoise water and the stories of confinement, the sound of tourists and the echo of men who once had no boat home. You can visit Ilha Anchieta legally, usually by authorized boat tours, but do not treat it like a simple beach stop. Some places are not haunted by ghosts, they are haunted by documentation. Number 7. The Pantanal, Mato Grosso, and Mato Grosso do Sul. The Pantanal is not a swamp in the lazy sense of the word. It is a living engine of water, mud, birds, reptiles, fish, cattle tracks, flooded grass, and eyes shining at night. UNESCO describes the Pantanal Conservation Area as part of one of the world's largest freshwater wetland ecosystems, with spectacular abundance and diversity of vegetation and animal life. Tourists go there to see jaguars, caimans, giant otters, macaws, capybaras, and sunsets that turn the water into copper. But the Pantanal is not a zoo. The road can flood, heat can punish, distances are long, cell signal disappears. Rivers hide more life than they reveal. Alone, the Pantanal becomes enormous very quickly. A wrong turn is not a minor inconvenience when the landscape is flat, wet, and repeating itself to the horizon. At night, the soundscape changes. Insects, frogs, water, wings, something moving in the reeds. The place is extraordinary because it is wild. That is also why you do not wander into it, as if wilderness were a theme park. In the Pantanal, nature does not attack dramatically. It surrounds patiently. Number 6. Pico dos Marins, Serra da Mantiqueira, São Paulo. Pico dos Marins has the kind of beauty that makes hikers overconfident. It rises in the Serra da Mantiqueira with cold wind, exposed rock, mountain grass, and views that can make the interior of São Paulo look endless. But its reputation carries a shadow. In 1985, 15-year-old scout Marco Aurelio Bezerra Bosaja Simon disappeared during an excursion to Pico dos Marins. The case became one of Brazil's most famous mountain disappearances, and searches never produced the simple answer everyone wanted. That is why the mountain feels different. It is not just steep, it is narrative terrain. The fog comes down, the rocks repeat themselves. Trails can become uncertain, especially for those who think altitude in Brazil is automatically gentle. Pico dos Marins is not a forbidden place. Experienced hikers climb it. Groups camp, photograph the sunrise, and return safely. But the mountain asks for preparation, navigation, weather awareness, warm clothing, water, and companions who do not abandon one another when fatigue begins making decisions. The most frightening thing about Pico dos Marins is not that it is impossible to survive. It is that it looks survivable until the moment you are alone. Number 5. Arquipélago de Alcatrazes, São Sebastião, São Paulo. Alcatrazes rises from the Atlantic like a fortress for birds. Cliffs, reefs, deep blue water, and thousands of seabirds make it look prehistoric, as if the mainland has not yet been invented. For years, however, this was not simply a paradise. It was a restricted military training area. ICM Bio's public use plan notes that military training closed navigation in the region from 1998 to 2008 and maintained access restrictions until 2016, when the Alcatrazes Wildlife Refuge was created. Parts of the Tupinambás Ecological Station remain restricted. Today, controlled visitation is possible, especially for diving, but under rules. ICM Bio states that the refuge can be visited, with better oceanographic conditions generally between November and May. The terror here is layered: military past, ecological fragility, open sea, restricted zones, and the knowledge that some islands are not waiting for you. They are being protected from you. Alcatrazes is beautiful precisely because access was limited. It is the kind of place that reminds you that not every untouched landscape is an invitation. Sometimes it is a boundary. Number 4. Atol das Rocas, Rio Grande do Norte. Atol das Rocas is one of Brazil's strangest miracles. A ring of reef and sand far out in the Atlantic, more like a biological dream than a destination. At low tide, the sea withdraws and reveals pools, birds, turtles, coral, and a horizon with no human comfort in sight. It is also not a tourist attraction. The Reserva Biológica do Atol das Rocas is managed by ICM Bio, was Brazil's first marine conservation unit, and public tourist visitation is prohibited. Only scientific, monitoring, and inspection activities are authorized. The atoll lies 266 kilometers from the Rio Grande do Norte coast. That distance is part of the fear. There is no casual escape route, no beach kiosk, no, I'll just walk back. The ocean decides when you may approach and when you may leave. The tide changes the map. The reef can look delicate, but it is sharp, alive, and legally protected. Atol das Rocas is terrifying because it exposes a childish fantasy. The idea that every beautiful place exists for human arrival. Rocas does not. It exists for birds, turtles, currents, coral, and science. You probably will never set foot there. That is not a tragedy. That is the point. Number 3. Pico da Neblina, or Yaripo, Amazonas. Brazil's highest point is not a simple summit. Pico da Neblina, known to the Yanomami as Yaripo, rises in the far northwest Amazon, near the border with Venezuela, wrapped in forest, mist, rivers, and cultural meaning. FUNAI reported in 2026 that the Yaripo initiative is community-based ecotourism developed in an overlapping area between the Yanomami Indigenous Territory and Pico da Neblina National Park. The expeditions involve about 10 days of walking through rivers, forests, and highland fields to reach Brazil's highest point, called Mountain of the Winds by the Yanomami. This is not the mountain you climb because you saw a photo and bought boots. It is remote, expensive, regulated, physically demanding, and culturally sensitive. Access depends on indigenous-led organization and authorization. The mountain is not just geography, it is someone's sacred landscape. Alone, you would not merely be unsafe, you would be disrespectful. Yaripo is terrifying in the old sense of the word, awe mixed with fear. The fear of distance, the fear of weather, the fear of entering a place where your maps are not the most important maps. At Pico da Neblina, the summit is not conquered. At best, you are permitted to approach. Number 2. Vale do Javari, Amazonas. Val do Javari is not frightening because it looks dramatic on postcards. It is frightening because it almost refuses to be reduced to an image. This vast indigenous territory in western Amazonas is one of the most sensitive regions in Brazil. Minority Rights Group notes that, according to FUNAI, the Vale do Javari indigenous land covers 8,482 hectares of dense equatorial forest near the Peru border, with navigable rivers and the largest known population of isolated peoples in Brazil. The modern world knows the name partly because of tragedy. In 2022, indigenous expert Bruno Pereira and British journalist Dom Phillips were killed in the Javari region while investigating crimes connected to illegal exploitation. In 2025, Brazilian prosecutors charged a man accused of ordering the killings. This is not adventure tourism. This is a protected, vulnerable, politically violent frontier where illegal fishing, trafficking routes, territorial defense, indigenous rights, and environmental crime collide. You do not go there alone. You do not go there for content. You do not go there because the map looks empty. The emptiness is an illusion. Val do Javari is full of peoples, laws, threats, rivers, memory, and consequences. Number 1. Ilha da Queimada Grande, São Paulo. And finally, the island Brazil made famous by not letting you visit. Ilha da Queimada Grande sits off the coast of São Paulo, green and steep, surrounded by Atlantic water. From a boat, it can look peaceful. That is how it gets you. It resembles a tropical island, until you learn what lives there. The island is home to the golden lancehead, Bothrops insularis, a highly venomous snake found naturally only there. ICM Bio lists the protected unit as the Área de Relevante Interesse Ecológico Ilhas da Queimada Pequena e Queimada Grande, created by federal decree in 1985, with a marine coastal biome and 65.17 hectares of protected area. Public access is heavily restricted to protect both humans and the snakes. The popular nickname, Snake Island, is not marketing. It is a warning label written by evolution. The horror of Queimada Grande is elegant. No ruins, no ghosts, no dramatic cliffs required. Just isolation, vegetation, a lighthouse, and a species that evolved in silence after the island separated from the mainland. You can look from the sea if authorized tours pass at a distance, but you do not land. You do not explore. You do not test the legend. Brazil has many dangerous places, but Ilha da Queimada Grande is the purest expression of the list. Beautiful, real, forbidden, and absolutely unimpressed by human curiosity, because that is the secret behind all these places. We are drawn to the forbidden because it promises a deeper version of the world, one without crowds, filters, souvenir shops, or easy explanations. But sometimes a locked gate is not hiding treasure. Sometimes it is doing its job. Brazil is still full of places where the landscape has the final word. Caves that keep their darkness, mountains that keep their dead, rivers that rise without asking, islands that survive precisely because people are kept away. The wise traveler learns the difference between mystery and invitation. The foolish one learns it alone.